It's great of you as book lovers to come out for our signature event of the year, or at least the first part of it. As Sam said, the speakers at the podium will be taking their masks off. It looks like you're having no trouble keeping 6 feet away from me. I'll say that in library school, the best teacher I had, Dr. Ann Carlson, in the only youth services class that I took, said, never tell a child that they will love this book. Don't even tell them that they'll like it. Because if they get it home and they don't like it, you've lost the trust in developing a reader. And of course, I had none of my career in youth services, but I found the same to be true with adults. What we as librarians say is, you might like this book. We never stake our reputation on it. Then you think of book clubs, where a friend of mine goes primarily to drink wine, but also to once a year get back at her friends for picking books that she didn't like, by picking a book she knows she would like. It's a difficult thing. And then finally, I've been in a service club where we were going through meetings and just talking about a book that we were reading. And I would always ask, who is this book for? And somebody who was reading a book of the most depressing nature, perhaps memoirs of surviving childhood abuse, would say, this book is for anyone. Or somebody reading a hard science fiction novel about colonizing Mars would honestly think anyone would be interested in this. And we know that. There's no book that's for everyone. That's why the idea of a one-book community discussion is a really radical idea. And libraries aren't saying everyone in this community is going to love this book, but the team works really hard to pick something that a lot of people are going to like a lot. More importantly, they pick a book that can generate a lot of discussion. So I mentioned that it's hard to pick. That's why finding the book is so much work. If you are friends with any of the members of the committee, ask them how many titles they had to read to come up with a winner. And the reality is that most books don't fit the bill. What's really exciting is that this year, exciting to me, they picked a work of genre fiction. And here to tell you a little bit more about a book that you might like is, and a book that gives you plenty to talk about, is a really outstanding fiction librarian. She's a Genesee County lifer, and she's our own Samantha Stryker.
I just had to do the 6-foot handoff with the microphone. So thank you all for being here tonight. For those who don't know me, I am Samantha Stryker, and I'm the Community and Adult Services Librarian here. I would like to thank the Friends of the Library for their support of our program. And I would like to thank all of you for being here, coming out in this beautiful weather. And also for everybody who's watching online, we thank you for being here with us. So I would also like to thank my committee, most of whom are here. We have Sue Briggs, Sue Chitty, Leslie DeLuz, Cindy Hegelberger, Irene Hickey, and Judy Sikora. So they're largely in the back, and I thank them all for all of their work. They meet throughout the year, as Bob said, and dedicate hours and hours to reading, and discussing titles. We were again set on finding a fiction title that would resound with our readers and that would provoke thoughtful and meaningful discussion. We made our selection in January, we confirmed the author, and then a pandemic hit. And so we had to ask ourselves if it was still feasible to have a program this year. Then I brought this to the committee and they said, well, let's think about the state of our nation. Let's think about how there's discord and strife and issues of racial inequality. And we all decided that the message of this book is way too important not to share. So the title we have chosen was published in November of 2019. The author began writing this book in the early 90s as a way to explore their own failings regarding notions of prejudice and racism. They worked on this novel for 20 years before setting it aside to work on other things. This year's title was a Best Crime Fiction of 2019 selection by Library Journal. It It was a finalist in the 2020 Minnesota Book Awards. It appeared on many lists of best crime fiction for 2019. Our 2009 Tale for Three Counties author, Thomas Mullen, described it as both heartwarming and hard-nosed, and a coming-of-age page-turner that probes the dark heart of small towns and the resilient strength that keeps families together. A Library Journal review stated, "This powerful, unforgettable crime novel is a coming-of-age book to rival some of the best, such as William Kent Kruger's Ordinary Grace. This timely standalone is a must-read for followers of the best in crime fiction." Not my opinion, but you probably will like it. We are thrilled to reveal that this year's Richmond Reads title is very anticlimactic. Nothing More Dangerous by Alan Eskins. Nothing More Dangerous presents a timely story filled with mystery, intrigue, and personal discovery. 15-year-old Bodie Sandin wants nothing more than to escape the small, I'm sorry, I'm distracted, you might have to wake up. Than to escape the small town of Jessup, Missouri, where he lives with his widowed mother. His life changes in unexpected ways when the Elgins, a Black family, move in across the street and cause Bodie to re-examine his understanding of the world as he knows it. The town has also been unsettled by the sudden and ominous disappearance of Lida Poe, a Black woman who kept the books at the local plastics factory. As Bodie delves into this mystery and navigates the racial tensions around him, he uncovers more than he expected about his family, his neighbors, and himself. We are excited to have a message to share with you from the author. And for those joining us online, you might not be able to hear it very well, but we will post it onto our YouTube page following the event. So Bob, if you'd like to go ahead and play that.
I'd like to.
Hello, Batavia, New York. My name is Alan Eskins. I am the author of Nothing More Dangerous, which I am honored to say has been chosen for your community read program. I wanted to let you know that although I'm the author of 6 novels total, Nothing More Dangerous is a very special novel to me. It is literally the novel that I became a writer to write. I started writing it back in 1992, and I started studying writing craft and taking classes and reading books on writing so that I could write that story better. And it was my love of that story and making it better that made me fall in love with writing in total. So I have been a published author now for 7 years, and I'm very, very pleased to have you read Nothing More Dangerous. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it thought-provoking. I hope it evokes emotion, but most of all, I hope you find it entertaining. Thank you again for choosing it, and I look forward to coming to your community. Hopefully, if the virus works out and things work out, but I look forward to coming there and meeting as many of you as I can. Thank you.
Okay.
Applaud for the important message.
Yes, thank you. So the title draws inspiration from a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., who said that nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. The setting of a small town in Missouri, being a rural setting, the atmosphere really resonated with our committee, and the strong themes of coming of age, racial inequality, and family secrets all lend toward powerful discussion. So as Alan mentioned, he is the author of The Life We Bury, The Guise of Another, The Heavens May Fall, The Deep Dark Descending, The Shadows We Hide, and Nothing More Dangerous, all of them being mysteries. He is the recipient of the Barry Award, the Minnesota Book Award, the Rosebud Award, Silver Falcon Award, and has been a finalist for the Edgar Award, the Thriller Award, and the Anthony Awards. His books have been translated into 26 languages. Alan has a journalism degree from the University of Minnesota and a law degree from Hamline University. After law school, he studied creative writing in the MFA program at Minnesota State University Mankato, as well as the Loft Literary Center and the Iowa Summer Writers Festival. Alan grew up in the hills of central Missouri. He now lives with his wife, Jolie, in Greater Minnesota, where he recently retired after practicing criminal law for 25 years. So in light of the circumstances surrounding the pandemic and COVID-19, we don't know what the events for this year's program will look like exactly. Whether they are in person or online, we will host book discussions and an author talk as part of the program. The author talk will take place on Thursday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. We will know obviously more about what these programs are going to look like as we get closer. Sometimes it feels like things are changing every day. So all information will be updated on our library website and at the library as it becomes available. And we thank you for your understanding in that regard. We have informational brochures and bookmarks with program information in the back, as well as books for sale, courtesy of Lift Bridge Books in Brockport. We have a number of circulating copies available and an audio copy available, which are up at the front desk if you'd like to check them out. The book is also going to be available as an ebook and an audiobook on Overdrive. And just really quick, I also wanted to thank Terry, and I'm sure he'll love it if I thank him, for coming and doing our live stream this evening. Terry was actually one of my professors at UB. So he got me to listen to my first audiobook, and I thank him for that. So as I mentioned before, the Richmond Reads program is sponsored by the Friends of the Library. If you would like to donate to the Friends of the Library to support this and other programs, there are also forms on the table here in the back. We have some lovely cookies from Deb's Bakery at Harrington's, so please do take one or two. The benefit of a smaller crowd is that you get to take as many as you want. Please take one before you leave. And on behalf of the committee, thank you again for coming out this evening, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have. So thank you. Does anyone have questions?
I have one.
Sure.
Can we use this for our bingo? I realize that I'm here and not virtual, but I'm just asking.
Yes, we didn't know if we would be having any in-person programs, so it can absolutely count for that.
Thank you.
You can go get your stamp right now at the desk if you want.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the book or our author, or, well, I won't answer questions about the book because you have to read it, but anything else? All right, thank you very much.
Looks like nobody will start eating cookies unless